Hello, and welcome back to Everyday Consciousness. My name is Elaine Iwicki, and today I'm going to talk about the concept of being yourself. So, what is it with just being yourself? Apparently, this is the hardest thing for anybody to do. I know that everybody tries their best to be as authentic and as honest as possible. But it seems like you do that until you get to the place where you've been conditioned and told that you can never have this attribute, you can never have this quality. You need to be quiet, you need to go with the flow, you need to, just be happy, you need to stop being a burden on everybody. So it seems like there comes a time in everybody's life where we run into a situation where somebody who cares about us will tell us to cut pieces of ourselves off, which we do. We're all trying as hard as we can. So we cut off these pieces of ourselves, and then we continue on life, and it's usually not just once. So everybody has these certain parts of themselves that they feel ashamed of, they don't ever want to show. And, so if a piece that you've never been supported on shows up and maybe wants to create a boundary, or you want to have empathy around this piece, or you would like to have some acknowledgement, it's like so many people, and I know it's me for sure, but I've heard this in a lot of the clients that I work with. It's like you just allow, right? You allow these pieces to get walked on. You don't put up boundaries. You feel ashamed that they're even there. You have very strong feelings towards a certain subject or towards a certain situation or towards, whatever it is. And instead of kind of standing up for yourself and saying, I feel like this is wrong, I feel like this should be different, I would like to be heard in this situation, you just feel ashamed that the feeling's there. You say yes when you want to say no, and you don't set up the correct boundaries. You're not protecting yourself, and actually relationships can get bad because of this. So this whole idea of cutting off pieces of ourselves necessarily means that we're never being our full authentic selves. So in therapy, I know I work with a lot of these shadow pieces, and then when I can tell that this is the piece that's, kind of popping up and asking for attention, I'm a very good listener, so I can usually catch it, and then I'll start opening up, what this piece is, when it got cut off, what it wants, how it responds. And usually these pieces, the pieces that we cut off, are so connected to our attachments. It's like if you show this piece of yourself, you are going to be rejected. In fact, I think that's what it is, almost 100% of the time. If I show my shadow piece that I've been conditioned or taught basically to ignore in myself, if I show it, I'm gonna lose everything. So there's a lot of fear, right, around our shadows. There's a lot of attachments. There are a lot of big stakes, right, around showing the shadow, putting up a boundary, making it real, asking for acknowledgement, asking for emotional support. And I think that's what your closest friend group and, maybe your spouse will do for you, is kind of be there with you in your shadow piece. And, but if you don't have that, or if they're not emotionally equipped to handle your shadow, you're on your own with your shameful parts and your good parts, and you're trying your best to be authentic. It's never working. But you continue to try. You're just never actually yourself. So the reason it matters, who cares, right? who cares if someone's being themselves or being somebody else? It doesn't actually matter, especially not to me. But it matters so much if you are able to do this for yourself, because these shadow pieces are very powerful. To reintegrate them into who you are, to have them become a part of you, one, they will get healthier. So you're not going to just fall apart. You're not going to feel really strong emotions. It's not going to create the same type of emotional turmoil that it does when it's in the shadows, right? So when you integrate it and bring it back in, it acts as a healthy part of you. It contributes to your creativity. It contributes to your power. It contributes to your relationships. It contributes to your closeness and your ability to trust. So there are so many benefits for you being and fully embodying like all of who you are and everything that you are. And I think the more pieces you cut off, the more controlled you are, the more you feel like, I have to walk this straight and narrow path, and I can't have emotions about that, and I can't have feelings about that. That's when things start to go really bad. So I believe that it is important to be yourself, like not in the cheesy way, like, oh, just be yourself, but in a real way. To embody all of who you are is the greatest and the most powerful thing you can do while you're here, as far as your success, as far as your overall health, definitely your psychological and your emotional health, and definitely your relationships, your ability to function every day, your ability to handle stressful situations. There is so many benefits to embodying all of who you are. So how can you do that? Okay, it's easier said than done. I know that. Well, one of the ways you can start to embody yourself is by doing shadow work, which is basically connecting directly with your shadow piece and inviting it back in and showing it love. Maybe I'll make a video on that one day. There are definitely other videos on that. So shadow work is huge. And another thing you can do is just to have compassion for yourself, for your shadow piece. So what happens so much of the time is that because you were conditioned to cut this piece off and ignore it and never acknowledge it ever again, this piece of you was abandoned, right? It was abandoned by whoever it was, whatever attachment person in your life told you that you need to abandon this piece of yourself because it's so bad. And the way we typically respond is by we also abandon it. So there's this part of ourselves that we were told is no good. Leave it there and never look at it again. And then we did. So the pieces of us, all of these pieces that actually are in the most need are the ones that we are also abandoning, which probably is why they're in the most need. So if somebody tells you not to be angry, then you're gonna, and you believe it, so you're gonna not be angry, and then the anger is like it'll take over you at certain times. It's gonna pop up and do so many things, right, when you're not expecting it. And to never look and take care of this anger you have in you means that so many extra things are going to go wrong. This part of yourself, this angry part that you're not paying attention to it's going to cause major problems. And maybe you won't even notice it. Maybe just certain things are going to happen and things are going to go wrong and you're going to respond badly because you're not taking care of this angry part in you. But whatever it is, right? When you abandon any part of yourself, and it calls out for attention, but you keep abandoning it, it's like these parts need a lot of compassion, right? It's almost like it's in your best interest to stop ignoring these parts and to start allowing them to have light and to have nurturing and to have love and to have acceptance by you. So shadow work is definitely one of the ways. And just compassion. Just seeing this part of yourself that's like angry or sad or anxious or shameful, whatever it is, and to really be able to look at it and see where it is and where it came from and how it's showing up, and give it nothing but love and acceptance. It's so valid for being there because, you know, it's trying to do the right thing, right? By keeping in the shadow, by not bothering you. So to have compassion for this piece of you that is doing all of this work to try to keep you in these safe, healthy relationships is probably another really great way to integrate these pieces fully into you so you can start trying to be yourself. So that is my message for today. My message is, I think it's very important in your life for you to be yourself, and shadow work and having compassion is probably the best ways to get you there. So I hope that you took something away. I hope this was inspiring. I hope this is helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.